So, ladies and gentlemen, welcome to our conjunction video of the week. And this week we're going to be covering Sun and Venus in the 7th house of your birth chart. And what happens when Sun and Venus are in the 7th house, which is the house of marriage, business partnership, negotiations, other people's contracts. Okay. And as always, if you do not know if you have this particular Venus, what sign it's in, what nakshatra it's in, along with your sun and all the other astrological details, for that, check out the links here. Check out my full astrological report under the shop sections, including my books, consultations, and link to my academy, Magha Vedic Astrology Academy, where I currently teaching planets through ascendant, along with, planets through nakshatras, along with ascendant through nakshatras. Not planets through ascendants. Please, my brain keeps saying that because that's the only series that I've been doing for the past 3 years now. So, anyway, Sun and Venus conjunction in the 7th house. So this is a very interesting conjunction. It's not as dramatic as the 6th house conjunction of Sun and Venus. Okay, so this may or may not cause divorce, but it'll definitely cause problems. It'll cause, your father will cause issues within the marriage. There will be rejection from one of the families related to marriage, even though this is the strong placement of somebody to have a romantic marriage, romantic relationship. But one of the families can object. Okay. The other thing, we also see that this is an individual who is extremely romantic. Like, if you have this conjunction, you are looking for that movie, French cinema-like romance. You want to be completely clustered into another person's energy. And the thing is, though, because Sun is here with Venus, with that romance also comes ego. You always want to put your ego and ideas first before the other person. And this usually happens after marriage. Before, in romantic situations with a relationship, it may not make that much of a difference. You will compromise. But once the marriage happens, it triggers something. Somehow with the marriage, when the ceremony happens and you sign on that paper, things trigger. That's what you got to understand. This is why romance before marriage and after marriage is always different. You have seen it in movies. You have seen it with everybody who talks about this concept. And especially once you have children, things change dramatically. Okay. But one thing we do see is that this is a placement of an individual who, first of all, becomes extremely good negotiator, extremely diplomatic in process of professional negotiations, contract dealings, dealing with courts, and they usually do make great lawyers, but certain placement have to be there with the 5th house and Jupiter, along with obviously the nakshatra of Bharani. But because Venus and Sun are conjunct, two enemies, this is that conjunction where a person marries an enemy from past life and have to pay back some karma to that person. Although marriage is a deal with the enemy you make from past life, but this specifically shows you are to marry an enemy. You are to marry an arch enemy. And it will cause problem with the father. If father's alive, and this is in the 7th house, and believe me, if you're thinking, well, my son is exalted, my father's going to be really well in that situation, actually Sun becomes more dominating, dictator, and irritated in the sign of Aries. Venus itself becomes irritated in the sign of Aries. So don't think one planet has to be exalted or debilitated. That's not how this works. One thing that does work is the masculine and feminine signs. Is your Venus Sun in a masculine sign or a feminine sign? If it's in a feminine sign, your spouse will be able to compromise within the marriage, will be able to negotiate things with you in the marriage. If it's in a masculine sign, There's a saying, two chiefs and no Indians. There's two chiefs and nobody wants to be an Indian. They both want to rule each other because it's a very strong masculine energy that comes with the spouse. The other thing you will also notice, if you're a man with this, after the age of 27, you will start receding your hairline. Your hairline will start receding. At the same time, spouse may have honey-colored eyes, especially if Sun Venus is in either Ashlesha, Rohini, or Mriksira Nakshatra. There's a strong chance that the spouse may have either, most likely, honey-colored or hazel eyes. It's not always the case, but when I've seen those cases, when somebody has said, oh yeah, I'm South Indian, my wife has really bright green eyes, like Aishwarya Rai. And then I'm like looking. And this doesn't happen like every day. Maybe once a year I've seen something similar to that. And so these things are prominent and it shows why it's there. Once you know the planets, the sign, the nakshatra, that's all you really need. And then just start painting a painting from it. Okay. But one thing I will let you know is that this is also the conjunction where if you're a female, male family can ask for dowry. Male family can ask for dowry. I know it's illegal. It is illegal in India or no? I don't even know. But they will try to negotiate some deal. So be careful of getting into that trap. Even if you're in love with the guy. There would be some financial advancements that could be made, especially in like conservative cultures, like Middle East and India and Asia. Okay. So anyway, guys, this was my analysis of Venus-Jupiter conjunction in the, Venus-Sun conjunction in the 7th house. And if you're new to my channel, subscribe below so you don't miss these type of videos. And if you want to know all your astrological details, consultations, reports, school, check out the links here. Otherwise, we'll see you tomorrow. Bye-bye.